see the audio?
Yeah, audio. Are we good?
Audio.
Can you find me? Find me.
We're there. It's lost. Yeah.
All right, we're here today at Hola, Adios, Hello, Goodbye
Wow.
Coffee, and we're gonna answer some questions to kick off the day in the life. We've got a question: what inspired you to start writing and playing, singing music for the Lord? I grew up in the church, started leading in high school, and then I graduated high school and I started leading at a different church, and I was about 22, 23. And I just started thinking, like, I don't want to be playing other people's songs anymore. I just want to make my own music. And so I did. I started doing that. I started working with Isla Vista Church when I was like 20. And I made 3 songs that went on that album. Dancing on the Moon was one of them, which is going to come out soon. I'm doing another version. You heard it here first. Yeah, I just fell in love with like that process. I had taken like a production class and I basically helped a lot with that album, and those were like the first songs that I had ever produced and put out was with Isla Vista Church. And that process, I just like fell in love with it. And then I was like, great, I'm just gonna go do this for myself now. And then I started writing my album and I put out my first record for Allie Page in 2017. So it's always been kind of like in me to like write this style of music. Slowly been evolving, and like this last record that I put out was a little bit of more of that like evolution for me. And then I also have 2 other projects that I make music for. One is like a indie pop project, and then another one is a pop project with my brother. I can make my spiritual music, I can make my fun music, I can make my like whatever, you know, there's no boundaries over here. Okay, we've got who asked this question. Mary Piper Killboy. Is that real? That's real. Okay. The question is, do you go to church? No. All right, let's go. Just kidding, I'll shoot. No, for real, I don't. And I want to be really like real about this. I have tried, and I have realized that at this time in my life, it's actually very healing for me not to go to church and to find friendship and community outside of church. I've spent my entire life in the church and serving the church, and there's been a lot of like amazing life-giving things that have come from it, and I'm still very much connected to what I consider my home church, which is Isla Vista Church, but I don't go. Like, I don't know, I feel like I need space to like expand my faith and find God in other ways, and I have been loving finding God in nature. Nature was the #1 inspiration for my last album, and it caused me to write so much beautiful poetry to the Lord. Yeah, it's just been a really healing season. Maybe at one point I'll go back, maybe I won't, I don't know. But I'm finding a lot of inspiration and growth spiritually, emotionally, just like finding God in other ways. Things like that have been really like huge for me, and expanding, like really expanding my relationship with God. So yeah. I got it. See you later. Okay, we are going to answer Kinsey Kate's question, top spiritual books right now. Okay, if you know me, you know that I love to read, and I am always reading like a plethora of different, I'm probably reading 6 books at one time. So this is my stack right now, guys. Okay, first we have Zen Buddhism. Now, before you get all crazy on me, this book was written in 1959, which I love old books, and I was drawn to this book like primarily from the cover. It's just like a gorgeous cover. And then I started like looking into it, and it's very much about the practice of Zen Buddhism, which is different than Buddhism. There's a lot of really interesting things, and I'm getting very intrigued by just kind of like other religions, not in a sense of like I'm trying to convert. I definitely am still Christian, but I think that there's a lot that we can learn, that I can learn from other practices, other spiritual practices, especially when it comes to meditation. And that leads me to this book, Rumi's Little Book of Life. If you know Rumi, he's a poet. I believe he's Sufist. And I have had people reach out to me and be like, how are you reading like these other religions? And for me, I read a quote, I think it was by C.S. Lewis, and he said, you eat the meat and you spit out the bones. For me, I take it with a grain of salt, and like, there's things in here that is so gorgeous to me. Like Rumi inspired a lot of my lyrics, just the poetry and the way he speaks about God. Like, the beloved holds my heart as a pen, writing whatever he fancies. It's just like gorgeous. So I find so much inspiration in Rumi. I've read a lot of his other books and I love, 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 love. Michael Pollan, The Botany of Desire. Speaking of gardening, I'm getting really into gardening and I'll show you guys all my projects outside later. But yeah, I just started this book. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. My grandma wrote this. And she passed away a couple years ago, and I have not read it. It's all of her poetry. So I've been going through it, and I love poetry. Like, I'm mostly reading poetry, and I cry every time I read this. So those are my books right now. And yeah, top 5 albums of all time. This is a toughie for me. I don't even know how to answer this question, but I will. Okay. 1997, Third Eye Blind. Top album. Top album for me. I would have to say a Stan Getz album. I love jazz, and I probably listened to this record every single day. It was the first record I ever bought, 1962, Jazz Samba, Stan Getz, and Charlie Bird. Love this record. Number 3, Georgie Benjour, 1974. 1974, I got that right. Atabua, I'm saying this so wrong. Atabua de Esmeralda. Oh my gosh, this record. To die for. Next up, probably this album, Rumors, 1977, Fleetwood Mac. For number 4, that's number 4. Number 5, Circles, Mac Miller. Love this album. Absolutely love this album. Come to My Backyard Oasis. I've been working on this for a long time. And I literally laid all this bark down myself. I picked this guy up from Facebook Marketplace. So now I can sit and enjoy my backyard. I'm ready for my interview. We're gonna answer 2 more questions. What's your favorite thing about music right now? It's really challenging me to put myself out there. I'm in like a new phase, I feel, and just experiencing my music by myself, I want to experience it with other people, with you. And I have not played live very much, and so it's really like pushing me. Music is pushing me to evolve right now, and I love that because I'm somebody who like always needs to evolve. I need to grow. If I'm not growing, I feel like I'm dying. And it's why I'm always working on creative projects. I'm always like trying to make a space better, or I'm like trying to pick up a new instrument, or I'm trying to just like grow. I'm like getting new tattoos, I'm changing my hair. I'm like always, you know, just trying to evolve. Like I went to an open mic night last night in LA by myself. My husband's out of town. It was so scary, but like I killed it. And I walked away and I got in my car and I literally just started crying because I was like, that was so hard, but I'm so proud of myself and I can't wait to do it again. So that's that. Okay, going back to TikTok. Love your work. They always feel like honest praise. Curious how you write your lyrics. Are they honest prayers or is it reflective worship? Loving Wings and of course God of My Seasons. Hey. They are honest prayers, yes. I think anything that I put out into the world is very honest. I write my lyrics like I'm writing poetry a lot of the times because I love poetry and it's just like that format comes very naturally to me. I need lyrics before I can find a melody. it's hard for me to find a melody if I don't know what I'm singing about, or like the essence. I don't know what essence I'm like trying to put forward. I'm listening a lot, like when I live my life. I'm like going through my life, and I was doing the dishes the other night, and this melody and this lyric popped in my head, which happens sometimes, and it was, I want a brown house with a view. And I was like, ooh, that sounds fun. I literally ran, I stopped doing dishes, I ran to my studio, and I wrote out a whole chorus for my indie pop project. And I was like, done, great, can't wait to finish that. So now that I have that chorus, I'm gonna like be listening throughout the day. What else can I add to that song? And I'm putting notes in my phone so that when I go to the studio, I have like paint to paint with, you know what I mean? Versus like showing up empty-handed. I can't create like that. Like I need to have stuff ready to go. So, okay, let's do one more. And then we can sign off. Can you share about how you wrote In Your Midst? This song is beautiful and it really reached me at a deep level. I've always wondered how artists write songs and would be interested to hear about that. Okay, cool. I was leading worship at a church when I was like 25. I was singing a lot of United Pursuit songs because they just like really connected with me. And if you know United Pursuit, it's very like personal, feels very personal worship. The worship pastor came up to me. He basically was like, we're not gonna sing those songs anymore because they're very like I focused, and we want to do more like we focused and like God focused. So basically don't pick songs that have the word I in it. And it just kind of like rubbed me the wrong way because I was like, that takes the personal relationship out of it for me. And that's why I love these songs, because it feels so personal. I decided to step away from leading worship. I was like, I think I just don't want to do this anymore. I basically went home and I was like, well, screw that. I'm gonna write the best personal worship song ever. And I wrote In Your Midst. And the whole song is very much about like me being in the midst of God's presence. And it's just me and God and like no one else.